Shalom, shalom. Good morning, everyone. It's a great morning here. I mean, how can we complain? With Yahuwah is for us, who can be against us? Yahuwah, Father, allow each and every one of us, whatever moment of the day that we are at right now, Father, that we might turn and repent. Eyes to see, ears to hear, a heart to turn, a heart to repent, Yahuwah, that we might walk in the light and shine forth the light of Yahuwah, the implanted word inside of us, that which should run through our entire being. Oh, Yahuwah, how we love you, Father, how we love you. Because you first loved us, Yahuwah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. All right, we're going to go and see where we left off. Okay, we ended by reading this article last time. My stuff's been wanting to fight with me this morning. Just wants to be everywhere I don't want it to be. Okay, so we ended up last time left off reading this article here. I hope it brought a lot of things to life about what should be first and foremost and right in front of us, and everything that comes in should go between the frontlets between our eyes. What comes in our ears should be taken captive. Every thought should be taken captive unto Yahuwah Messiah. Every thought. We need to be so familiar with the truth. When this stuff, well, it's not when it does, looming on the horizon, that we recognize it immediately. Wish I could remember that. Okay, so next we're going to go look at this article. And you can pull it up on your screens, on your computers or your tablets, or it's a lot easier to read than on a phone. I've got mine printed here. It's by, looks like it's by HP, garage.hp.com. And this is from August of 2019. It's by Julianne. Hopefully that won't bother too many people. Julianne Pepitone. Virtual reality's new tricks. How it fools your brain into having a real experience. They got it mapped out. Virtual reality creators are developing new ways to trick our brain, designing immersive, unforgettable sensory experiences that can up your professional game or transport you to other worlds. We got enough being sojourners in this land. I don't need any more. Imagine looking down at Earth. Imagine. Some of you out there will get a kick out of that. While you float through space. Well, that'll make you laugh even harder. Hearing a shell screaming overhead from inside a military bunker. Feeling an ocean breeze on your skin, inhaling the scent of the forest after the rain, all while standing in the same spot. Virtual reality technology is evolving from merely strapping on a headset, which we are past that. I'm not going to say that again. I said it a whole bunch last time. For a visual encounter to truly immersive experiences incorporating every human sense. Nowhere in the scriptures do I read that the human senses were to be used for this. Just as I think about it now that I said that, I haven't researched it, but it would seem to me that all our senses should be used to sense that which is Tob and which is Ra'ah, so we can resist the Ra'ah and keep the Tob. This type of VR experience not only makes you feel like you're in a different world, it also tricks, magic, the most primal parts of your brains into believing it. Your higher consciousness, which is, there's nothing the matter with that word. It doesn't have to be New Age. You can meditate on the word, okay? And you can be the head and not the tail. And they can put their shenanigans however they want. Yahuwah's allowed it. Your higher consciousness might know you are standing in a VR kiosk at the mall, but your senses see, hear, feel, and even smell a completely different environment. Tico Balagas, Senior Manager in the Artificial Intelligence and Emerging Compute Lab at HP, says VR will soon better replicate how humans experience and interact with the world, because they've mapped out the synapses, the light, the electrical charge in your brain as it processes many different things. All being made possible by technology that works in harmony with the brain. The only thing that should be working in harmony with our brain is the authority that is inside of us which is heart in Hebrew, which ought to be the Most High, Yahuwah Eloah, so that we might sense, we might know, we might understand, we might discern what is His and what is not. One of the high-level ideas floating out there, even outside of VR, is that we are entering a new age. Can't wait till he comes. Take me to that age, will you? Let's go. Donna. Depany. Dilbia. Miss Harriet. Miss Dawn. We shifted from the industrial age to the information age, and now we are transitioning into the experience age. Multisensory, and what are we experiencing? Are we really, in this aspect, experiencing what Yahuwah has laid out for us? I think not. It's not even real. Multisensory memory. Conjuring, it's like we're conjuring up a spirit. Lifelike experiences in virtual reality requires a suspension of disbelief and demands a technologically complex, biologically based illusion. Suspends disbelief. Actually, it suspends your belief in what Yahuwah has. And it demands a technologically complex, biologically based illusion. Our brains are wired evolutionary reasons, I would say it would be the way Yahuwah wired them, to pick up some things very acutely and quickly, says Menach Mehta, a professor of neurophysics in the Department of Neurology, Neurobiology, Physics, and Astronomy. That's an interesting combination there, isn't it? At the University of California, Los Angeles, who has conducted extensive studies about VR. Neurology, neurobiology, physics, and astronomy. For other things, the brain has evolved not to worry so much about it. People creating VR experiences must understand deeply where the corners can be cut and where your brain will notice the tiniest mismatch. They got it down to a science. Your laptop screen is actually flickering constantly, refreshing 30 to 60 times a second or higher on more advanced gaming laptops. While the neurons in the brain respond to this flicker, our minds don't perceive the infinitesimal pause. But by contrast, anyone who has watched a movie with an audio track lagging slightly behind the visuals knows the dissonance it creates. Our Yah-given instincts must be fooled, or else our brains will notice any misstep immediately. This means spatial audio that places realistic sounds in right spots in relation to your body, controllers, which really won't be necessary, that allow you to reach out and feel as if you're touching an object that isn't really there, and olfactory and taste elements that add evocative scents and flavors to your encounter. Well, if that taste element, we're supposed to taste and see that Yahuwah is Tob. Now we're going to taste and see a Star Trek meal, right? When we talk about multisensory experience, all of this needs to come together in harmony, because one error can shatter the illusion. And welcome to the grand illusion. Come on down and see the show. Multisensory harmony is key to making visual encounters feel like fully lived experiences. How about we just get in harmony with Yah? Even triggering the brain to encode the experience as a memory triggers your brain to encode the experience as a memory. Mr. Men in Black. Joanna Popper, HP's global head of virtual reality for location-based entertainment, recalls trying out BBC and Rewind's Home, a VR spacewalk experience, which enables viewers to feel what it's like to float around the International Space Station. Later, I went to a dinner where an astronaut showed a video of his own experience, Popper says, and I thought, yep, I've been here too. It took me a minute to step back and realize, no, of course I haven't actually been to the International Space Station. Of course, duh. But the VR experience had created a memory that felt real. Already been done. Done deal. Goes on to talk about feeling and haptics, and I kind of talked about that last time. I can feel the vibration of an explosion, the wind that comes off that impact, Balagas said. When you have the sights, the sounds, and this haptic touch sensation all together in a spatially representative way, you're aligned sensorily. That alignment is how you create these really immersive experiences. Let's get in line with Yahuwah. Let's get straight. Here they talk about changing the rate at which the grabbers were converging in virtual reality. So you attribute the force of your fingers squeezing the grabbers to the force of the virtual objects, and it's very effective. Essentially, your hands feel what your eyes see. The illusion is valuable not only for elevating entertainment experiences, but also the joy of Yahuwah is our strength. We don't need entertainment, but also for training in activities that require tools, assembling a circuit board, performing surgery, and even deactivating a bomb. Well, how benevolent are they? So kind of them. And it goes on to talk about companies such as Google and Oculus and Adobe. While Balagas can't share details just yet, he says the technology is based on specific attention to how we create HTRFs, or head-related transfer functions, which determine how our ears receive a sound from a point in space. We should be listening for the voice of Yahuwah. Sheep don't go to a stranger. Our sense of smell is linked to the amygdala, which is shaped like an almond, the part of the brain that helps manage emotion and memory, which is why scents are so powerful, and thus they use scents in this whole deal. As you rise up visually, it's talking about one of their experiences, and the audio track swells, and you smell the air. All of these scenes come together. The tone of the scents also rise to end on an open, fresh, airy note, like a musical chord. How about that? Says Boyle. We need to design experiences with every sense on an even playing field. Visual should not be elevated over any other. This is what it takes to reach an altered state of being. That altered state can be a powerful tool. Imagine a firefighter in training. We got some benevolence, and we go on to more about their benevolent work. Can it be used for benevolent purposes? I mean, sure. Should we just live in the real world? Probably so. No, I know so. Every new technology, from the telephone to the internet, has changed the way humans understand and interact with the world around them. Mehta, the UCLA neurophysicist, neurobiologist, physicist, and into astronomy, says virtual reality is poised to create an even greater shift than the tech advances that came before it, because of how it manipulates our brain's responses to our mind's perception throughout every second of the experience. You are being manipulated. Have been for a long time. On a grand scale. And here we are. It's truly not going to go any further than this. This is it. This is it. It's an experiment that has never happened in the human experience until now, he says. Virtual reality taps into evolutionary biology. I'm just going to say your biology. to make our brains believe with all 5 senses and every fiber of our beings. For the first time ever, you're able to package, transmit, and communicate using experiences as the medium. Virtual reality has the ability to conjure up, like a spell, experiences at any moment for anybody. Look around. And that creates a new way that we as a human race can interact. I, for one, will pass, at least on knowingly being involved in such witchcraft and sorcery and demonic agenda. Okay. I don't think we're going to look at much in these next 2, but a little bit. I'm going to move to this one. There. Okay. This is by Futurism by an author, Kristen Hauser, July 26, 2017. Neural reality, the new reality is coming, and it's a brain-computer interface. And no, they're not going to need to cut open your head and stick a chip in there. So, come on. How many people you think they're going to take the time, money, energy to do that to? Doesn't have to work that way. As we will see soon. In life, too. And the subtitle for this article is, In the Future, Brain Chips Will Govern How We Experience Reality. The Virtual World. With the release of Oculus Rift in March 2016, the age of virtual reality truly began. Or so they say. So they've announced it to us. VR tech had been generating buzz since the 1990s, but the Rift was the first high-end VR system to reach a consumer market. And early reviews confirmed that it delivered the kind of experience users had been hoping for. I don't know who those... Well, I guess I do know who those users are. Virtual reality was finally real. Finally, a fake reality that's real. Research into VR exploded in this new era, and experts soon started to find innovative ways to make virtual experiences more immersive, more real. I'm so tired of hearing immersive. To date, VR technologies have moved beyond just sight and sound. We've developed technologies that let users touch virtual objects, feel changes in wind and temperature, and even taste food. Earl Grey tea in virtual reality. However, despite all this progress, no one would mistake a virtual environment for the real world, which we just read is not the case. 2 years later, in a 19 article, we read that's not the case, and it's not the case. People will be truly, fully immersed, and they won't even know that they are. The technology simply isn't advanced enough, and as long as we rely solely on traditional headsets and other wearables, it never will be. Before we can create a world that is truly indistinguishable from the real one, we will need to leave the age of virtual reality behind and enter a new era, the era of neuro-reality. Reality 2.0. What? Neuroreality refers to a reality that is driven by technologies that interface directly with the human brain, with the synapses and the way we sense and the way we perceive and the way we navigate, the way we hear, how our language works, and on and on and on and on and on. While traditional VR depends on a user physically reacting to external stimuli, for example, swinging a controller to wield a virtual sword on a screen, a neuroreality system interfaces directly with the user's biology, your brain synapses, and how it works and what section and what's going on. I'm going to give you the video in a little bit to go watch. With the user's biology through a brain-computer interface. Notably, this technology isn't some far-flung sci-fi vision. It never was. It's very real. To rehash the basics, brain-computer interfaces are a means of connecting our brains to machines so they can be either invasive, requiring an implant of some sort, or non-invasive, relying on electrodes or other external tech to detect and direct brain signals. That is correct. They're not going to take a whole bunch of time to cut everybody's head open and stick a chip in there with all these wires. It's just not happening. It's too easy to go the second route. Some are already there. Experts have predicted that advances in BCIs will lead to a new era in human evolution, as these devices had the potential to revolutionize how we treat diseases, learn, and communicate. Well, we saw some of that in the introduction to this new metaverse. In short, they are set to utterly transform how we see and interact with the world around us. In fact, some companies are already innovating in the newly emerging field of neuroreality. No immersion-breaking controller is required. Dan Cook in 2013. It's a company. Well, I better see what the company is and tell you. No, I can't. But it was founded by Dan Cook in 2013, called iMinds. Oh my gosh. When you're in the virtual world, whether you're playing a game or something else, you don't want to have to keep thinking about what you're doing with your hands, Cook told Digital Trends in November. It's much better to have pure brain wave control. It will be a much more satisfying experience and will allow for a much greater level of immersion. You can forget about your live human body and just focus on what's going on in front of you. How demonic. Cook likens the experience to dreaming. In a dream, you can run around without moving your physical legs. That dreaming and imagining creates brain signals that we can read, he told The Guardian. With what we want to do, you won't need eyeballs to see, or ears to hear, or hands, or feet. My scriptures say we need all those things. We can bypass all of that, he says. Most certainly. Let us bypass what Yahuwah has created for us to die to our flesh and walk in the light and not walk in the darkness. What a trick. What a trap. What a trap. A world in your mind. It's the next part of the article. Goes on to talk about, Musk boy here. This something, it looks, Tim Urban, when he was describing the launch of Neuralink. There would be no more need for screens, of course, because you could just make a virtual screen appear in your visual cortex. Or jump on into a VR movie with all your senses, asserted Urban. You'll be able to actually experience almost anything for free. Let me tell you, nothing is free. We know that. Nothing is free but the gift of Yahuwah who came to rescue us, salvation. Figuring out the tech to actually make this happen won't be easy, and overcoming the non-tech related obstacles will present an additional challenge. Done. Over with. Gonna show you where to go watch this class. We'll show it right to you. From a very high technical institute that works with many 3-letter alphabet agencies and other companies, and you'll see why if you choose to watch the video. Figuring out the tech to actually make this happen won't be easy, and overcoming the non-tech related obstacles will present an additional challenge, such as developing a comprehensive map of the human brain and all our neurons. Done. Elective brain surgery is an extremely controversial subject, and past experiments haven't yielded such promising results. It says they're going to need to engage in years of research, etc., and they'll have regulatory hurdles to overcome. Well, you know what? It's a done deal. Forget it. It's over. They've already got it. They don't tell you what they got when they got it. When you see something come out on the news, it's already been for, I don't know, 50 years. We'll just say 50 years. That sounds good, right, Donna? All right. Last little article here. I'm going to read you one little short paragraph right here. Internet of Bodies. It's by Parag Dewan, August 6th. I'm thinking it's this year. It's from medium.com. Just let the name go. We won't have a big fuss about it right now. But I've been talking a lot about conjuring and trickery and all this business. Beyond wearable devices, the Internet of Bodies. Internet of Bodies is evolving rapidly, and its future is exciting. For those who love the darkness rather than the light. Although the concept, and it has to do with the Internet of Things if you are so aware, otherwise you can go look up the Internet of Things. Although the concept of this whole deal, in other words, the Internet of Bodies is an extension of the Internet of Things that connects the human body to a network via devices that are ingested, implanted, or otherwise connected to the body. Ingested, implanted, am I getting that right? Implanted, or otherwise connected to the body. Once the connection has been made, it's over. Data can be exchanged, as well as the body and device can be remotely monitored and controlled. And if you think there's no way for this to get there, there's experiments out there that were done on mice that will show you it. Yes, it can. Don't you let somebody tell you no different. Phase 1 of this whole dealio, or this aspect of it anyway. This phase included the usage of wearable devices such as Apple Watches or Fitbits that could connect our bodies to collect and analyze data. Phase 2. In this phase, devices which were internal to the body, such as pacemakers, cochlear implants, and digital pills that are ingested in our bodies to monitor or control various aspects of our health parameters. Phase 3. In this emerging phase, it is on the emerge, it is in the process, it's being done, has been tested already. This is not a test. They've already tested this stuff. This is not a test. If you want to know how, you can email me. Maybe we'll talk about it. In this emerging phase, technology is being embedded within the human body. They've got implanted microchips, but just above we read ingested, implanted, connected, leading to the creation of cyber-physical systems having human bodies to connect with a remote machine on a real-time basis. Talks about digital pills, smart contact lenses. I missed that. Brain-computer interfacing. Yeah, stuff we've already read. Of course, they're going to talk about ethics, of which they have absolutely none. I certainly believe some people think that they are doing the right thing. I get it. Some people are very sincere, and they're sincerely wrong. Goes in many cases. We've all been there. None of us are an exception to what I just said. None of us. All right. Yeah, let me get my papers stacked up here. Chances are they'll be everywhere in the next hour. All right. We're going to go watch a few minutes of Dr. Jerry Tennant healing his voltage, part of the Thunderbolts project. Just a few minutes. He's done a great work. And we're just going to go watch a few minutes of this. I'm going to pull it up, pull it over. 1119 to 1602. 1119 to 1602. Let me turn this volume on, and he's going to start talking to you about some light in the cells. I do believe.
What does it take to make a new cell that works? Well, as I mentioned, it takes minus 25 millivolts for a cell to run, but to make a new one, it takes double that. It takes minus 50 millivolts. And then in addition to having the voltage to make new cells, we have to have all of the nutrients to make a new cell. So if your house gets blown down with a tornado and you have to build a new one, guess what? You have to have everything you need to bake it. You can't build a new house with doorknobs and bathroom tiles. You have to have shingles and rafters and doors and windows, etc. You have to have everything it takes. And this is a big mistake people make when they're trying to get well, is they try one substance at a time, saying that, well, I want to see what works. Well, it's not going to work, because I have to have everything all at one time to build a new cell. So we have to have minus 50 millivolts of energy. We have to have everything it takes to make a cell. And then we have to deal with any of the toxins that are hanging around that damage cells as fast as we make them. And the most common toxins we have to deal with are heavy metals like mercury, toxins coming out of our teeth, and GMO foods with the pesticide called Roundup or glyphosate. Now, the body actually has 4 different battery packs, because the human body is a portable electronic device. Like all electronic devices, it has to have a battery pack or multiple battery packs. And so the reality is that we have these 4 different packs. Now, the largest one of all is our muscles. Now, our muscles are piezoelectric, and for those of you who aren't physicists, that funny word piezoelectricity means that if you stress a substance and it emits electrons, that's called piezoelectricity. So when I move my muscles, I'm generating electrons, which is, by the way, why exercise is so important, because exercise is the way the human body is designed to recharge your own personal battery pack. But the reality is also that our muscles are rechargeable batteries. And so we have then these large muscles, which are our main batteries. And then these muscles, battery packs, are all hooked to our cell membranes. Now, cell membranes are capacitors. So what is a capacitor? Well, a capacitor is a small battery. And the way our cell membranes are designed is with a couple of opposing layers of funny fats called phospholipids. And these fats have a ball and then 2 legs. Well, the balls are electron conductors and the legs are insulators. So when you put them like this, you have 2 conductors separated by insulator, which by definition is a capacitor, which means it stores electrons. And then inside the cell, we have a mitochondria. And inside the mitochondria, we have another rechargeable battery system. When that that battery system is charged up, we call it ATP, and then as it gives away its electrons and discharges, we call it ADP. Well, because we have a rechargeable battery system inside our mitochondria, guess what else we need in there? A battery charger. The battery charger inside the cell is called the citric acid cycle or the Krebs cycle. So the Krebs cycle runs on primarily fatty acids, and so as you put fatty acids through the Krebs cycle, it creates electrons, and for every unit of fatty acids that you put through the Krebs cycle, if oxygen is present, you get enough electrons to charge up 38 of these ATP batteries. Now, in addition, we have the DNA. Now, DNA inside of our cells, we generally tend to look at it from the side, and we look like we took a couple of step ladders and twisted them. But if you look at it from the top, it looks like this. And every circle of DNA is golden mean, and what that means is that it's 1.618 times the diameter is 1.618 times the height and so forth. And any place in the universe where there is something that's golden mean, or in the shape of a platonic solid, it will cause implosion of scalar energy. So because our DNA is golden mean, then scalar implodes into it and gives it its charge so it has the energy to do its job. So then we have our
the whole point of that being, inside of the cell and inside of the mitochondria, we have energy. If it's imploding and it's causing energy, there is light at the very, very core of our cells. What is the light within us that is reacting to everything around us? Okay, has this been changed with ingestion, implantation, i.e. hookup? How does that work with the neurons in our brain? Because everything is electrical in our whole system. He talked about scalar energy. A scalar is something that looks the same on a micro scale, and you can build it all the way out to a macro scale, like we see in this realm. What is the light inside of us? What are we running on from the very being of who we are? The authority that is inside of us. What is that light that's inside the cells that pumps through our body via our heart, which is the authority inside of us? The stuff comes in through our eye gates, through our ear gates, through our nose gates, through our mouth gates, through our touch gate. And they want to trick it. And they can't get to what's in here. They can't get to the authority inside of you unless they are able to get you to ingest, implant, hook up. You can't get to that authority inside of you unless they come in through this way, or through this electrical system to get you to think differently, because you now don't have the authority of Aloha, Yahuwah Aloha inside of you. Don't do it. By the way, this whole video is great. Great video, great. Can't say great enough times. Here's another video. Oh, this is the video I was going to tell you to go watch. I'll just pull it up real quick. I don't want to, I know I'm getting doodah trouble for this. We'll just watch like the intro, because it just boggles my mind. This is the video I would like to thank my dear friend Donna for sending me. And it is, let's see, we got it pulled up over here. There it is. It is right here. It is number 2 in this series. There is a playlist. Oh, I can't get my mouse to move. There is a playlist down in here. Oh, there it was. Here's the playlist right here. This is the one you should go watch first, though. This is the one that will really show you how far they're allowing you to see that they've come, nonetheless. Let's just watch this intro real quick. For those of you that have been watching what I've been saying for a while, this just, this just confirmed everything for me. There you have it. Did you see it? Go back and watch it a couple times. And then watch the whole video. Okay. Now, we're going to talk about this guy right here. And a lot of people are going to want to turn upside down and shut off the video. And okay, adios. We have been tricked. We have been so tricked. We don't need to clear this thing out to have a third eye. That is, I agree that's about as new age as that is off the chart. We don't need that. What I am going to say is they've tricked us into believing that we don't need to keep this thing cleaned out because it has to do with the biological system that Yahuwah created, not so you can open your third eye. Ooh, that's not it. In fact, they'd love it if you wouldn't clean this thing out. Not because we need to conjure up something with it. I'm going to show you why. And it's not oo-doo-doo-doo-voodoo. It's part of your body system. It's part of your brain. Huh. We just don't even know what we don't even know. Okay, so here's the light coming in your eye. Your optic nerve. We're going to go back here and we're going to hit some rods and some cones. That's going to come off of there and it's going to hit your... Here it's coming in. Oh, look. Look at that coming in right there. That looks like that video we just watched. Oh, isn't that interesting? Huh. And it's going to come back here and it's going to hit your pineal gland. It's going to come into your brain. Back here, the lady in the video is going to talk about this being your visual part of your cortex, I do believe. I am not a brain major, so, if I don't point to the exact perfect part, I apologize ahead of time. So this comes in and it hits this pineal, either hits the pineal gland before it gets here or it comes back. Because as the lady in the video is going to tell you, oh, she's just the cat's meow, she's so funny. She's very enjoyable to watch. If she ever got a hold of the truth, she said that I just can't even fathom. There's more coming back from your visual cortex than there is going into it. Okay, this is, I thought this was funny. Because they say the pineal gland looks like a pine cone. I just thought this was funny. This is a sleeping human. This is an awakened avatar. I thought that was so funny. We should be awake. And it's always interesting here. They show all the pine cones in ancient days. Of course, there's the Eye of Horus. There's a pine cone, pine cone, pine cone, pine cone, pine cone. I know we have this pine tree as a fertility symbol. Okay. I got it. Is it? Yeah, I'm not telling you to put up a holiday tree. Absolutely not telling you that. So what does this pineal gland do? Your optics come in and hit it. I mean, many other things go on, but the optical, the light comes in and it hits it. It goes through the cones and the rod, which we're going to see about in this guy's video, and he is the cat's meow as well. Don't agree with him theologically either. He is a researcher's researcher. He is really, he's got a great little project called Ubuntu. I wouldn't have the opportunity to do it here. You just have to go look at it. It's called Ubuntu. If you look this up and you find his website, you'll find it. So this is one of the things that the pineal gland does. Do we even know what that is? Let's go watch Mr. Tellinger here. The Hidden Origins presentation. I'm sure I don't have it pulled up, but that's all right. We can find it. Huh, wasn't this interesting? Okay. I know it's here. I just watched it. That's okay. I got another way I think we can handle this. I hope. I must have moved it. It's alright. I'll find it. I knew I could find it. Okay, I'm just going to watch real quick. What did I say we were going to start? Got no idea. 2:12:04 to 2:12:56. I think you might talk about Ubuntu at the end of this. Really, it is how we should be living. If you turned that on its side, would it look like the meta symbol? I wasn't even expecting that. Magneticism manifests as a torus. If you turned that on its side, it would look like the meta symbol. Except for the meta symbol is kind of squished down. You know why? Because they can only combinatorially optimize it so far. Because they're not Yahuwah. Alright, 2:12:04.
Sound torus and everything else comes from that. I discovered the 8 immortal kings of Samaria live a total of 241,000.
We'll skip that ad.
We understand that it is the sound of the earth that creates the magnetic fields. The sound, the earth rings like a bell, right? It is not the molten iron core at the center of the earth that creates the magnetic field. It's another lie we've been told. Somebody came up with somewhere along the line. And because molten iron doesn't have a magnetic field in any case, it has to be solid. And even that is a problem because as we see it right now, we have a half a magnetic field floating around in space because a fully balanced magnetic field has the 0 point in this.
Okay. That irritates me because I really thought I was going to find it. And it's simply not there. I'm going to give it one more shot here. So I really want you to see what he has to say. That was a different one of his videos. Which, I'll have to look at later, I guess. This is it. Good grief. Thank you for your patience. This is the one I want to look at. But you could go look at Michael Tellinger. I could watch him a lot. Leave it at that. Okay, here we go. 212.04.
Enki.
212. That's fine. This isn't going to hurt anybody. Alright, we'll go here.
That thing out of my sight ever again. So we're dealing with some ancient knowledge. It's giving us a very clear indication of how we can use this ancient technology into the future. Keep in mind, what have we got in our eyes? In our eyes we have rods and cones in our retina, right? What are the cones in our retina connected to? The optic nerve is connected to? Right in the middle of your brain is your pineal gland. Correct. So somehow our pineal gland should be controlling our eyes and our optic nerve. And our pineal gland should be picking up all these other frequencies, the all-seeing eye of Horus, connecting us to everything, every frequency, and giving us ESP ability and much more. But we can't do that because those bastards several thousands of years ago screwed up our pineal gland with those cones of theirs. But if you look at our eyes, so in our eyes, in the iris is actually like toruses. Right? Look at the toruses in the eyes. And the toruses have lenses in them that focus the light, which is also sound, because every light frequency has a sound frequency attached to it. So it sends the sound and the light through the lens, through the center of the torus, into the cones in the retina. So now you understand why I get excited about these toruses or the cones combined as tools that could be used to do things that we can't even imagine yet. We've got this technology encoded in ourselves, and this is why when I say that we are advanced technology, people don't get it. We are the most advanced technological tools walking around on this earth. It's encoded in us. Our DNA has all the knowledge of everything in creation that was put there by Enki. And those bastard Anunnakis that turned us into their slaves.
I almost can't apologize for his language, but I do apologize for his language. Of course, I'm not on the same page theologically as he is. We can see what the adversary has been doing for a very, very, very long time. This is why your water is fluoridated. This is why there's all these other things that we could talk about, GMO and chemtrails and all this other business. Am I saying that if you clear out your pineal gland, you should be looking to have ESP? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. This is what the adversary wants to keep you stuck in this fallen state, which you are without putting on Messiah, without clothing yourself in light from the smallest micro scale in your inside of each cell on a macro scale, and how you shine forth. This is why there are so many nervous system and electrical problems with your latest tattoo. And there will be other issues that, of course, I discussed some of them. It's not even, that's not where I'm at. So what frequency are you hearing? Who are you really resonating with? And are you putting on a false light or a real light? Okay? Frequency, what he spoke, and vibration, the resonance, equals energy, i.e. light. Our whole body system is electrical in nature, and it's scalar from the macro to the micro. Blow the shofar, Donna. Blow the shofar. I have this up here. We're going to talk about this Okay. Again, they've hidden the true biological intent of this body, this brain part. Oh, it's just one of the things they've hidden in this kind of stuff. And so this is where we have to see it at. This is what I want to talk about, this little picture here. This is actually in the video, and they just, I just thought that was cute as all get out. This is the name of the YouTube channel. This is their YouTube channel. I give them full credit for the video, even though I don't agree with, you know, some of the stuff we're going to see. My concern is that we understand what in the world's going on. This guy right here, he creates a melatonin so that you can sleep. I wonder if all these older people that have to take melatonin, that have been so fluoridated and pharmakia'd and chemtrailed and GMO'd for so long, no wonder they got to take melatonin, especially the fluoridation, calcifying of this over years and years and years. The other thing it creates is DMT. And DMT has two, I think we're going to talk about it after this. Nope. DMT has two systems which it helps to really regulate. The real big one is your circadian rhythm. We're going to go watch this 2:17 to 3:31. And again, just disregard the stuff that isn't about the biological part that I'm trying to get to. I'm sure we're going to get an ad again. Who knows what we'll get. $2.17. Of course, you can see I'm not. You should be meditating on the word. Well, here's that cute little picture. Yep, there's Mr. And we're not there. I got it. All right. Let me make sure you can all see that. Oh, I hope you could see that slide I showed last time. Well, we'll go back and we'll look at it again. I wonder if you could all see that Michael Tellinger. Well, this is not good. Y'all must have heard Michael Tellinger. We'll go with that. Alright, so what are we shooting for here?
States. Meditative states are correlated with a sharp increase in melatonin. A melatonin influx lets the brain know it's time for sleep. Naturally triggered by the onset of darkness, increased melatonin during meditative states lets the brain know to slow down, allowing the mind to drop from the highly attentive waking brainwave states of beta frequencies into the calm, intuitive dreaminess of alpha and theta states. It's easier to meditate in the morning or late at night because the pineal gland has already begun producing the melatonin necessary for the brain to slow down and drop into a more relaxed and expansive state of consciousness. By regulating melatonin, the pineal gland is regulating the frequency of brain waves, shamaning their corresponding spectrums of awareness. Between controlling the production of the powerful psychedelic DMT and regulating wakefulness and the frequency of brain waves with melatonin, it's clear that ancient civilizations and countless mystics were onto something when they linked this tiny pine cone-shaped enigma with enlightenment and seat of the self.
Try not to freak out too bad. Of course, I'm not into the witchcraft and the sorcery aspect. But again, what I want to say is, I wonder if we can look it up on the fly here. I'm not really an on-the-fly well, I am an on-the-fly person, but let's see if we can see. Is it this one? Okay, I'll just show you this real quick. The main function of the pineal gland is to receive and convey information about the current light-dark cycle from the environment, and consequently produce and secrete melatonin cyclically at night. Okay? I spelled it wrong. That's all right. The circadian rhythm, which is known as our body clock, are regulated by small nuclei in the middle of the brain. Okay? Hang on. Located deep in the center of the brain, third eye, blah, 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 it produces melatonin, which helps maintain the circadian rhythm and regulate reproductive hormones. A lot of people not going to have babies or have strange babies, huh? So what is the circadian rhythm? The circadian rhythm is a natural internal process that regulates the sleep-to-wake cycle, and it repeats roughly every 24 hours. It can refer to any process that originates within an organism and responds to the environment. Okay, it is your clock. It is your internal clock that's running in the background to carry out essential functions that Yahuwah has given you. I'm not talking about opening your third eye. Again, please hear me. So now you, when you're meditating on the word, seek me often, seek me early, his word says. Okay, I'm not saying that you can only meditate in the morning and you can meditate at night. There's this clock that Yahuwah has put our bodies on to run internally. We can't slow down. We can't relax. We can't even meditate on his word. I'm not saying to make your mind blank. That my scriptures don't say that. This has been fluoridated, calcified, messed with. It's just one of the things it's been. And now they have all of society off of the rhythm that Yahuwah would otherwise have his people to be on. We need to do the things to detoxify our entire bodies, including the pineal gland, not for reasons of opening a third eye, but in order that we will keep biologically be even more in rhythm. Jerry Tennant, Dr. Tennant talked about getting these toxins out of your body. Get them out, get them out, get them out. My good friend Donna always says you have to be doing something to detoxify your body every day. And yeah, I knew it was true, and I knew it was true, and I knew it was true. And so I started doing some things, and you know what? She is absolutely correct, okay? We need to get the natural cycle, it says down here, cancer.gov. The natural cycle of physical, mental, and behavior changes that the body goes through in a 24-hour cycle. Listen to this. Circadian rhythms are mostly affected by light and darkness. Isn't that what we're talking about here? Light and darkness, and are controlled by a small area in the middle of the brain. They can affect sleep, body temperature, hormones, appetite, and other body functions. Abnormal circadian rhythms may be linked to obesity, diabetes, depression, bipolar, seasonal affective disorder, sleep disorders, sundowners. Circadian rhythm is sometimes called the body's clock. Whose time clock are we on? He made us. We know we didn't come out of some non-living thing to become a living thing. He made this in us so we would run on a clock. His clock. Biologically, while we're in this earth. Is it the perfect clock? Well, we're living in a sinful, fallen world, so I'm going to go with probably not. Now, again, I want to highly recommend that we've only got a little bit left here. Gosh, if you guys didn't see this, I'll try to remember, how about that, to put the link at the bottom of the video to all of these. But this one right here, I've only got a little bit left to go, and then go watch what she says. It's like an hour and 15 minutes. You'll enjoy her. I'm sure you. If you are inclined to this kind of thing, you will enjoy her. Okay. That's the masquerade ball. Do you want to go to the masquerade ball? I want no part of it. I've got enough of the masquerade ball right here in this realm. I don't need any more. Yahuwah's people do not belong there. Proverbs 4. Verse 18. But the path of the righteous is like the light of dawn. It shines ever brighter unto the perfect day. Let's open that up. Huh. Interesting. Let's do our little deal again where we go like this. Oh, that's the wrong side. Yeah, I can't do that. If I do that, I won't be able to think straight if I don't keep it on the same side. Proverbs 4 and 18. But the path, okay, this comes from your Ruach root line of the just. And the Spirit hovered. Shh. But the path of the righteous is like the light, the ore. What is in you? Does it shine forth from you? Like Moshe's face? Do we shine like Yahusha when Shaul saw him on the road to Damascus? No, not yet. But we should be shining forth. Don't put a bushel basket over it, because then what's it going to be? Dark. It's going to be covered up. I'm not saying you got to be on the book face or in the metaverse to shine your light. They didn't have no book face and no metaverse. I get they were together in the wilderness. But even as they were spread out, there were still small groups into whole different areas. They didn't have no book face. They didn't have no metaverse. They didn't have no telegram. How was that for improper English? But the path of the righteous is like the light, the ore, shining like the dawn, the warm touch of light. People of the day, and the sun comes up. Is it up? Oh, it's up. The warm touch of light that shineth more and more carries the message in their walk. Even if their feet are shackled in the prison, they're still sending a message. And Yahuwah is the chain breaker. Unto the perfect day. The way of the wicked. Different word for darkness. I wouldn't make that up. The way of the wicked is his darkness. It's going to be judged. The way of the wrong is like darkness. They do not know at what they stumble. My son, listen to my words. Incline your ear to my saying. Let them not depart from your eyes. Guard them in the midst of your heart. Let them not depart from your eyes. The eye, the door of the eye, goes to intimacy, goes to yada, it goes to knowing. Let them guard them in the midst of your heart, because the implanted word, Yahuwah himself, should be the authority that's inside of you, for they are life to those who find them, and this life is the light of the world, and healing to all their flesh, because it kills the flesh. Watch over your heart with all diligence, for out of it are the sources of life. Whatever the authority is inside of you, we need to watch over Yahuwah and the implanted word that is inside of us, and the blood that is pumping through our body, which contains every cell, which we just saw, contains scalar and plosive energy. It contains light. It contains where the marrow and and the cells contain the chromosomes that have the DNA, which are made in the marrow, which is where we get the word Mashiach that we're supposed to have put on. Turn away from you a crooked mouth and perverse lips far from you. No improper L to the ta from your mouth. Let your eyes look forward and your eyelids look straight before you. We are not to the left, we're not to the right. Consider the path of your feet, not to the left, not to the right, and all your ways are established. Do not, I didn't even know that was next. Do not turn to the right or the left. Turn your foot away from evil, from ra'ah, from dysfunction. It just don't have anything to do with this garbage, okay? Psalm 119, 18, and 19. These are all really short. Open my eyes, that I might see wonders from your Torah. I am a sojourner in the earth. Do not hide your commands from me. Open our eyes, Yahuwah, that we might see wonders in your Torah. Well, let's just go look at that word real quick, because I want you to see it, because we just saw it. Psalm 119. '18 and 19. 18. We just saw it. See it down here? We just saw it. The wrong their way is darkness. Open your eyes so that we can judge accordingly. So that we can come to the Word and follow it. Because if we follow it, it intercedes for us. That's beautiful. Open our eyes, Yahuwah, to all these things. Let us not be found at the masquerade ball. Because it's got nothing to do with the commands and the Torah and the statutes of Yahuwah. Nothing. They're not having a scripture study in the metaverse anywhere in that video or anywhere that I've seen. Now, could there be somewhere? Yep. Okay, maybe. He didn't give us that. That's not for us. It is not for us. Proverbs 6. Don't even question it. For some, it's over. You're hooked up. For the command is a lamp, and the Torah is a light, and reproofs of discipline a way of life. Everything He's given us. We should hear it. We should see it. We should speak it. We should feel it. We should know it. We should be intimate with us. We should be following every single command and Torah that He has laid out, lest we be tricked. There should be no question in our mind that this has nothing to do with the true light of the Torah. Proverbs 13, 9 and 10. The light of the righteous rejoices, but the lamp of the wrong is put out. By pride comes only strife, but wisdom is with those who take advice. Listen up. This lamp, this masquerade ball, the twisted seed that was from the beginning, not the beginning, not the resh, but when it started to get twisted, it's going to get put out. Isaiah 5:20. Wow. We've been going on a long time again today. Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe to those who put darkness for light and light for darkness. No need to be at the masquerade ball. Isaiah 2:5. O house of Jacob, come and let us walk in the light of Yahuwah, of Yahuwah, of Yahuwah. This is one I put up here, so y'all go read this. Keeping in mind that that spittle's going to have chromosomes, DNA, etc., in it. I'm not going to read that. Zephaniah 3. I think there's only one more slide after this. Yep. And those are all short. Zephaniah 3. Brother. 6:30. 6:30 is where Zephaniah starts. Just if you're in the scriptures, it starts on page 630. Zephaniah does. Woe to her who is rebellious and defiled, the oppressing city. Take a look. Oh, you capital Z. Oh, look, and I didn't mean Zephaniah. She did not obey the voice. She did not accept instruction. She did not trust in Yahuwah. She did not draw near to her Eloah. No, she drew near to the masquerade ball and to the false messenger of light, who's false light, who look like they're messengers of light in all different aspects. Her rulers are in her midst are roaring lions. Like to tear your throat out. The enemy roams about like a roaring lion. Her judges are evening wolves, probably in sheep's clothing. They shall leave no bone until morning, completely devouring the flock, one inside that bone where the marrow makes the not only the buttery liquid why his bones weren't broke, but also where the cells are made that contain the chromosomes and the DNA. They want it all. Her prophets are reckless, treacherous men. Her priests have profaned the set-apart place. They have done violence to the Torah. Who are we allowing to plant a seed in us? On every level. Yahuwah is righteous in her midst. He does no unrighteousness. Morning by morning, he brings his right ruling to light. Morning by morning. And what comes up in the morning? The sun like a bridegroom coming out of his chamber. What's he going to do in those days? At the end? No one shall escape from the heat thereof, says Psalm 19. It has not been lacking, yet the unrighteous one knows no shame. I have cut off nations, their corner towers are in ruins. I have made their streets deserted, with no one passing by. Their cities are destroyed without man, without inhabitant. I have said, only fear me, accept my instruction, and her dwelling would not be cut off. All that I have appointed for her. But they rose up early, and they corrupted all their deeds. Break of dawn, huh? They rose up early. I thought we were supposed to seek him early and often. Corrupted all their deeds. Therefore wait for me, declares Yahuwah, until the day I rise up for plunder. For my judgment is to gather nations, to assemble rains, to pour out on them my rage, all my burning wrath. For by the fire of my jealousy all the earth shall be consumed, and only the bride shall be left. Because a call, consumed, eaten up. You can go look that up. Goes back to we should be vessels. Same root line. For then I shall turn unto the peoples a clean lip, a pure language. From the family of heads, the family of heads, for the family of heads, in the harvest. So that they all call on the name of Yahuwah, to serve him with one shoulder. And we're just going to skip down to the last verse. At that time I shall bring you in. Even at that time I gather you. For I shall give you for a name, and for a praise to shine. Shining forth through words and actions. Doing it now. Among all the peoples of the earth, whom I turn back your captivity before your eyes, said Yahuwah. For I shall give you for a name and for a praise. so that you shine forth through words and actions, because you shine forth through words and actions. Here, same place, we get the word for Hallel, or Lucifer. We get the word for us shining forth through words and actions. Which side of the fence you on? The real light or the masquerade ball? Revelation 18, 21 to 24. Yeah, no wonder. And one mighty messenger picked up a stone like a great millstone, and threw it into the sea, saying, with such a rush the great city Babel shall be thrown down, and shall not be found any more at all. And the sound of the harpists, and musicians, and flutists, and trumpeters shall not be heard in you any more. Remember those musical notes that went up on that video? And no craftsman of any trade shall be found in you any more at all. And the sound of a millstone shall not be heard in you any more at all, because it's all been meted out. And the light of a lamp shall not shine in you any more at all. And the voice of a bride and the voice of a bridegroom shall not be heard in you any more at all. For your merchants were great ones of the earth. For by your drug sorcery, your witchcraft, all the nations were led astray to be hooked up into some false reality. Taking away the biological system that Yahuwah had made for us to run on, to follow the Torah, to die to the flesh, to walk in the true light as He is in the light. All drug sorcery. Chemical is not natural. And in her was found the blood of the prophets. Well, isn't that interesting? Okay, so I get that Yahusha said, from the blood of righteous Abel to the blood of Berechiah, son of Zechariah, who you killed between the dwelling place and the altar. They're getting killed now. It's a blood thing. And set apart ones, and all of you who were slain upon the earth, no more light of a lamp, no more chance, no more shining. It's over. Now is the time. Revelation, let's go to 21. Skip that one. 21, 22 to 27. We'll come back to it. And I saw no dwelling place in it. This is the new year. Well, Revelation 19, 7 to 9. I guess we better do it that way. Let us be glad and rejoice, and give Him praise. For the marriage supper of the Lamb has come, because you eat once the harvest is complete, if you're a vessel unto righteousness. And His wife prepared herself, and it was given to be dressed in fine linen, clean and bright, for the fine linen is the righteousness is of the set apart ones. What do we got on? What are we wearing? What are we going to be wearing? Are we going to die to this flesh and walk in the light so that we can be made like Him when He is revealed? John chapter 3. Are we going to be clean and bright, following the Torah and the commands, and keeping away and out of and no part of this that has come? This is it. This is it. It's over. Pull as many as you can out of the fire, hating the garments that are stained, because they're not clean and bright and white. Revelation 21, 22 to 27. And I saw no dwelling place. This is the new Jerusalem that came down out of Shemaim, adorned like a bride for her husband. We just read about the city back in Zephaniah. This is not that city. This is the renewed Jerusalem. There's nothing renewed going on over there right now, capital Z. And I saw no dwelling place in it, for Yahuwah El Shaddai is its dwelling place, and even also the Lamb. And the city had no need of the sun, nor the moon. Why? Because the bridegroom has come out of his chamber. Like Psalm 19 says, we saw a picture all the time. There's no need for this anymore. To shine in it, for the esteem of Eloah lightened it, and even also the Lamb is its lamp. The seed beginning is the Lamb that came out of Eloah, who is the light. He was every piece, part, and conglomerate of Eloah, by him, through him, and for him. And the nations of those who are saved, who were rescued, they had the testimony of Yahuwah who came to rescue us and followed his commands, shall walk in its light. And the sovereigns of the earth bring their esteem into it. And its gates shall not be shut at all by day, for night shall not be there. There's no darkness. Oh, and there shall by no means enter into it whatever is unclean, neither anyone doing abomination and falsehood, but only those who are written in the Lamb's book of life. And that life was the light of men, and no dark deeds, no darkness. There will be no more tears, no more sorrowing, no more suffering, no more pain. Everything there will be in the light, as he is the light. 22, 5-7. And night shall be no more, and they shall have no need of a lamp, or the light of the sun, because Yahuwah Eloah shall give them light, and they shall reign forever and ever. Let us point people to that. Yahuwah. And he said to me, these words are trustworthy and true, and that they are. And Yahuwah Eloah of the set-apart prophets, who planted the correct seed, has sent his messengers to show his servants what has to take place with speed. See, I am coming speedily. Blessed is he who guards the words of the prophecy of the entire book. This is the word. This is the language in its original pictographic form, from the El to the Taw, that give us commands and instructions and deep revelation of Yahuwah Eloah. This is trustworthy and true. Let us guard it with our heart, because out of it are the sources of life. Thank you, Yahuwah, that you have given us such great and precious promises. The promise really of eternal life, Yahuwah. Let us shine forth your light to a dark, lost world, Father. Let us be found ourselves not looking for the lusts of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, but as you are light, to be light, no matter where we find ourselves, in prison and shackles, captive, hungry, sword, gonna die. Yahuwah, let your light shine, Yahuwah. Because a city on a hill, in that day, a city on a hill cannot be hidden, Yahuwah. We love you, Yahuwah. Praise Yah.